I realize there are many people that still are on the fence about what's been going on and what I've been talking about for the last few weeks. But about 4 hours ago, the current administration signed a bill called the Emergency Pandemic Prevention Bill. This bill authorizes emergency preparedness programs, and it actually renews the country's pandemics and weapons of mass destruction response programs. But the original bill back in January is what they wanted him to sign, but they had to go in and change a lot of the things in it, because the first one was just about more or less the pharmaceutical companies and things that they do. But this one that they had to write up on June 4th and was just passed today by the president is very interesting. They're saying that it includes resources to contain the largest measles outbreak in nearly 2 decades. That's interesting because of what I've been speaking about. I'm sure many of you, I kind of know the demographics of my audience, and you're like my age and older. We all remember measles and mumps and chickenpox. I had chickenpox as a kid, maybe even measles. I don't really understand. I don't remember. But we remember it was just measles. People got it all the time. You stayed home from school a few days and then you'd go back to school. So why now is it a pandemic? Is it that serious? Or is it something else? I don't know. But I spoke about all of the jails, the prisons, and other things that have been shut down or quarantined in the last few months. The Navy ship that was quarantined with 700 sailors on it, and so on and so forth, and we haven't really gotten any updates on any of it. And I spoke about how strange it was that Harris County, which is Houston, had to quarantine one of their jails because of supposedly 14 cases of the mumps. Well, there was just an update a couple days ago that says that 300 more people are being quarantined. This is all just very, very strange. I know we kind of like to say, well, this is all planned because of agenda, whatever, blah, 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 or whatever the case may be. But it actually may be scarier than that. And I don't like fear-mongering, but whenever I kind of realized it, it kind of is more scary than a person or a group of people planning this, because it makes it, I guess, less able to contain. From the research that I've been doing, there may be a connection to the video that I did a month or two ago about Antarctica and that big hole down there that is the size of, like, Maryland, they're saying, but some people say Kansas, whatever. Either way, it's a huge hole. And what it could have been. Why does this random hole keep opening up? And then I saw a video from, I'm sure most of y'all have seen it, that may be connecting these diseases to that hole. To be honest with you, I was like, really? Really? And then I started researching, and I was like, holy crap, really? Did y'all know that 2 years ago, when the permafrost started to melt in the Arctic region in Siberia, there was a huge outbreak of anthrax in the reindeer because the permafrost, whenever it started melting, all of these spores and everything started to get out, and the reindeer were getting it. Because the thing about frozen things, and I'm sure a lot of people know this, we keep a lot of important things in Antarctica and stuff like that too. I think they have like all the seeds of the world down there, that way if anything were to ever happen to essentially the entire population, people would be able to start over. And so they have to keep it in that below a certain temperature, somewhere that doesn't need electricity. And so they keep that stuff in the Arctic or in Antarctica, like the seeds and different things. Probably medicines, penicillin, or whatever. But due to increased temperatures that are not normal for these regions, both south and north, we've been having these huge outbreaks of diseases that we thought were eradicated, or diseases that have not been seen in thousands of years. So this might be very well connected. Now there could very well be still some shenanigans going on, and I still feel there are, because we have immigrants coming from an entire different continent. Because we have immigrants coming from a different continent and seeking asylum here, where most people that are seeking asylum, you go to the nearest country or whatever and you seek asylum there. You don't fly through 5 different countries and then show up and say, I want to seek asylum here, and then have rolls of $100 bills. So I do feel that there's something going on with that. But the origin of these mysterious diseases could very well be because of the increased temperature and the melting of the ice in different areas. The question I had was, well, if that's true and it's getting into the air, then how come it's only affecting certain locations for the main part? Like there was a bunch of people that mysteriously, they still don't know why, 150 in India that died of what they're calling the deer fever or something. And then Mongolia, they had a half of a tribe or whatever, all quarantined, and half of them died. Just all recently. But then of course we go back to Ebola, which is seemingly only affecting people in Africa. For the most part, except whenever they come to different countries. Why would that be? If it is actually coming from, the Arctic or Antarctica or whatever, from this hole that has scientifically been proven that there are these 1,000-year-old viruses that they've found, why would that be? Why would it only affect them? Why not South America? Why not why not all of it? Then I was thinking about what that Earthy Patriot, she sent me some stuff and I showed it to y'all in one of my other videos, where she showed me the wind patterns and how certain wind patterns and the dispersing of certain viruses were similar in certain areas, like in the Dominican Republic area in Africa. But then I was like, well, let me look at all of it, because I was only looking at what she showed me. Then I went to climateviewer.com and I started looking at the wind patterns. We're going to look at that in just a second. The wind goes straight up from, the Arctic Sea, the wind patterns, they're circular or whatever, but they go up through there. And what's different about Africa than South America? Africa is just flat sand. There's no mountains. There's not a rainforest. There's not big trees that could stop these things. So if wind was just going and taking these viruses along with it, there would be nothing to stop it. It goes directly to the people. Whereas in South America, there are trees and all of these things that would stop it before it got to other populations. Yes, it would affect some people, and then we could even look back at the ancient South Americans that mysteriously disappeared. Like the whole tribe disappeared they had no answer why. That was thousands of years ago or something. And they were just gone. They lived on the top of Machu Picchu, I believe. Could that have been what happened with them? Maybe not thousands of years. It could have been hundreds. And all of these things seem to line up with the same time that this hole opens up. And whenever I did my first video about this hole, I was just doing it about other things that are very interesting. But it makes so much sense. It's kind of scary because we don't have any immunity to these 1,000-year-old diseases. But it makes perfect sense. Let's look at the wind patterns of... Okay, so let's check it out right here. You see how from Antarctica it goes to the tip of South America, but then when you look at Africa, all of these winds come up right across the west coast, and right up here. You can see that. And without anything blocking it, it makes perfect sense. And then we have the Arctic Circle, which the same type of thing happens with the ice melting. And we have Siberia. All of these things happening. But look, it comes down from the Arctic Circle also down to Africa. See? It stops just along Europe and goes right into Africa. If y'all can see that. It just goes right into Africa. Weird. And then look, all this red. I don't really understand what all that means, but it's very strange because that's exactly where all of the Ebola cases are. Weird. I don't know, y'all. What do you think? Very strange. Okay, so thank y'all for watching and everything. Let me show you something that I just got in the mail and I wanted to share with y'all. I've talked about it on multiple videos of mine, and I'm going to have Dr. Gordon on with me tomorrow. And so I'm going to show you what I got. I got the silver solution. This is the alkaline structured silver. It is different than that, what is it called? Colloidal silver, nothing like that. This is patented. It works differently. He's going to explain it, okay? When you don't have an immunity to something or a treatment to something, this could very well prevent it. I probably couldn't have said that. Shouldn't have said that. Okay, it could help you in your life. Healthy life. Got the bars of soap. This is the gel that you can spray in your nose and all of that. And this, you just take a tablespoon or a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. So that's 10 milliliters. And I'm going to take my first teaspoon with you guys. You ready? Alright, so 10, bottoms up. It just tastes like water. I mean, not really water, but you can taste something. I thought it was going to be like gross. Anyway, so I'm not going to explain everything on how this works, but it's the electrical structure. And so when you get like some type of, I'll just call it a foreign substance comes into your body, it likes to connect to the most electronic available cell or object. And when you have this going through your body, it's going to connect to that rather than your actual cells. I'm going to let him describe it tomorrow. I have a link to this. It's the only thing I recommend, and if you can go back and watch all my videos. I don't like recommend things. But in this situation that is so absolutely strange, I mean, it does a lot of other things for you, like amazing things. But I'll let y'all look at the reviews. So you click on it, it'll be down below in my pinned comments. Click on it and you can watch the reviews and stuff like that. I'm telling y'all, it'll probably start selling out when people start realizing what's going on. Especially when we have the president signing a bill saying that there's a pandemic. Because I find it very strange that he's just now signing this at the same time that we're saying something's going on and it's being hushed. But anyway, guys, y'all need to like, share, and subscribe to me if you're not, but share it, because there's not, I mean, they are very much censoring this information. At first I was getting away with it, but I think they started realizing like, oh no, we gotta censor this stuff, nobody can find out about it, which is sad. It really is sad. But anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful day, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye, guys.